Oh, y'all want to talk about race? Let's talk about it. Oh, don't click off the video now. I know this topic is not for the weak-hearted, and maybe I'm about to make your little ass uncomfortable, but that's how growth works. We ain't about to do no tiptoeing today. I'm talking shit. I feel like I can say whatever I want now, so I'm gonna just air it all out. I know people are gonna take this any kind of way. I know how the internet is. I already know what they gonna say. They're gonna be like, I'm crashing out. OwONekko hates white people. They gonna say I'm blaming white people for all my problems in the world, and I don't know how to take accountability. I am fully aware that I'll probably sound crazy to a lot of people. They gonna say what they gonna say, but I know what I'm about to say, and it's the truth, so I feel no shame in saying it. This video is gonna hurt everybody's feelings, and I know they gonna try to make excuses for this shit and try to invalidate everything I'm saying, and they gonna try to pick out every little instance. We need context on what actually happened because we don't know if it's really about race or not. Y'all know, you fucking know. And for these people, I got something I want to show y'all that I think will ease the minds and get rid of some of that tension. I got it right here. Here you go. It's literally not my problem anymore. I'm talking my shit. I don't have any reason to lie. Contrary to popular belief, I don't like being hated, but I'll go through it because I want people to be better. And I think the only way it'll happen is if people are more aware of what the hell is actually going on. So if you're personally offended by anything that I say in this video, that's something inside yourself that you need to work through. That ain't got nothing to do with me. So let's talk about it. As y'all know, I'm Nandi. I'm a black artist, and I've been black my whole life. Those are my qualifications, and honestly, that's all I need for what we talking about today. Because the internet seems to think racism just doesn't affect people. Oh, it's not happening now. It's not in the art space. It's definitely not in the art community. We're progressive. Oh, what they were doing isn't racist. They just treated you badly because how you came off, because how you reacted. Like, it irritates me. Like, y'all can't just say that something isn't racist when you don't even know what racism looks like. Like, a racist isn't just gonna walk up and go, I'm racist, I hate black people, and spit at the nearest person of color. Like, no, that shit is subtle. Oh, they sneaky with it. Racism is taught, it's ingrained in so many people, and a lot of people are too unaware of themselves to notice that their actions are racist. But a lot of people know exactly what they're doing. And then there's like different kinds of racists. You got the upfront Southern racist, the secretly jealous coworker, the nosy neighbor who think you don't belong in their neighborhood. But in my experience as a black woman, you know, white men, you can tell when they racist most of the time. They're usually very upfront about it. If they don't like you, if they got a problem, you'll know it. And to be honest, this is my favorite kind of racist. And I know it's fucked up, but I like how I know, because then I have the choice to kind of avoid you or not. Because I hate the type that do it secretively and try to act like it got nothing to do with race. Like, just be upfront about it. I would rather have a person just come out and say, I hate black people, than a person who's actively looking for ways to ruin my life behind my back. But white women will create a narrative in their head on how this whole situation is about to play out. It's like they have a playbook on how they do this, and they're allowed to act the way they do because of that privilege, because nobody checks them. It reminds me a lot of this story called The Lion and the Gazelle, where it's this gazelle and this lion, and the gazelle is on the ground just acting hurt, like it's acting like the lion bit it, even though the lion didn't. But to all the other animals gathering around, it looks like because the lion is a lion, everyone assumes that the lion hurt it, and they all jump in and eat him or like kill him at the end of the day. I don't know what happened after that. And when I first heard that story, it really resonated because that's my experience. And I'm not gonna fully blame it on them because it's a societal thing. I fully believe racism is taught, and I don't want to lose y'all, but in America, this shit is taught to us every single year of school. We learn about slavery and segregation for like 12 years straight. And what black people get from that is we used to be less than, and white people learn we used to be superior. So it's a lot of built up tension around it because it never got resolved. And the only times they do get resolved is usually when one of us dies for it. Folks gotta have a noble sacrifice before any changes are made, but we were forced to let them go. And we're never really taught how we're the same, or how we can grow from each other, or even how to respect each other and our cultural differences. We're only taught about these differences. From the music to the media. One of my biggest pet peeves right now is how like movies and media are like remaking all these older characters and remaking them black. And it's like, y'all know damn well black people ain't asking for that. I mean, we appreciate appreciate it. Now white people looking at us like it's our fault, and they mad at us because of what y'all did. You know what I'm saying? We would prefer our own original black characters. I just feel like we're so used to taking what we can get, but that's a whole topic for a whole nother video, and it can go deeper and deeper if I let it, but we be here all diddly damn day. Steady up, king, queen, or theme. And I really don't like to categorize people like this, but in the American experience, white people are born with a certain privilege, and whether they know it or not, they use it. And I know I'm not crazy about this because this happens historically. I call it Emmett Tillin' niggas. And if y'all don't know, Emmett Till was a young black boy accused of some shit he didn't do by a white woman who gathered the crowd, and he was executed for it. And even now, in this day and age, we still have to go through this. It's just presented in different ways. Most of the time, it's stupid shit. Other times, it'll be in the form of workplace drama, refusing service, bad service, jealous people on the internet doing what they gotta do. It's just the act of being held to an unfair standard. If you're a black adult in America, you've had that feeling of people having you fucked up from the start, seemingly for no reason. And it be the small shit that they be trying to make the big shit. And you know, on the internet, the art space is a predominantly white space. The few black people that are on here are like kids and teenagers. I see y'all, but I don't think they have enough experience to really know what a racist looks like. And it doesn't help that they denounce that the racism is actually happening, because that just gives the racists more fuel. Like, ma'am, they gonna treat you the same way they treat all of us. I know, because I used to be you. I used to be one of those kids in the comment section thinking I was just the bringer of peace and harmony. We're all treated equal, y'all. Stop fighting. And I was just making excuses for these people so I could deny that it was all over something as stupid as skin color. But no, it really do be about that. Like, and y'all don't understand. I wanted to be white growing up. I had a bad home life. So for a large majority of my childhood, I was raised a Christian. And I remember praying every single night for years to be white. Like, God, take me out and bring me back up as a white child in a white family. Please, God, they got financial stability and supportive parents, and they don't have to deal with this race shit. Please, Jesus, please. And I try to change everything about me. I buy whitening soap, perm my hair, only hang out with the white kids. The black kids were too ghetto for me. Oh my God, I did that for so long. I just denounced my entire race completely. And if anybody's listening and y'all doing this now, I'm gonna go ahead and rip the band-aid off. They will still see you as a nigga. I'm gonna tell y'all the story of how I first realized this. Some of y'all know, when I was younger, I used to fight a lot. And usually, most of my fights were for other people. See, I had this tendency to basically defend people. I would always stand up for the ones who couldn't for themselves. So if anyone was bullying any of my friends, I would be the one to stand up to that bully. So I warned the teachers, I'd get into a fight with them because the teachers ain't do shit. I would get suspended, come back, rinse, repeat. And I was just getting into more and more of these fights. I didn't realize I was sacrificing myself for all these people. And one day was really bad. I beat the hell out of this kid who had been bullying one of my friends. And this kid hit me first, and ain't nobody about to hit me and get away with it. So I beat him up. And I was in the principal's office just explaining what the situation was. I told him about my friend, about the bully, about me warning the teachers and all that shit. So to confirm everything, the principal asked my friend if everything I was saying was true. And my friend didn't stand up for me. And I realized in that moment that not one of my friends ever stood up for me. Like, and I would get into these fights a lot and would get in trouble. I'd always be the one in the office getting punished. I was fighting their fights for them. I was giving myself physically, mentally, talking them through it, encouraging them, standing up to their bullies for them. And it was in that moment that I realized that I'd been fighting and standing up for every last one of my friends, but none of them could even speak up for me. And in the end, I was the one seen as the aggressive one, the one who attacked, the one who causes problems. And I've seen this reflected in my life in so many different ways. And I'm glad now that I can make those connections so I don't have to blame myself for that shit anymore. Because I was putting all that on me. Long story short, now I take all that energy that I give out and I put it right back into myself. So now I stand up for myself at every opportunity, because justice for me doesn't work out the same as it does for everybody else. No one is here to save you. And African Americans are on the fast track to learning this early in life. And I'm really making this video because because I know how bad it is. It makes my guts churn when I imagine all the other people and black artists and the kids that have to deal with this shit, and they don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm lucky it happened to me because I'm strong enough to fight back. But imagine all the people who had to go through this and go through the death threats and the bullying and the lies and no one believing them and them being gaslit out of their fucking minds and not even know why. And they're forced out and they quit or they kill themselves over this shit. And I want more for them than that. I don't give a fuck how you scatter, cover, smother, dice, or flip it. This shit is still happening. I don't think it's fair and I'm not gonna stand for it. Y'all don't think on my very first redesign video, I was blocking people, calling Luna a monkey, dogging on them Demon Slayer characters just because of the skin change? And most of y'all didn't even know because I made it my job to keep this channel a safe place for us. So fuck them people. If they wanna bring the fire, I'll bring the wood, bitch. Let's burn it all down together. But I'm growing something new from it. And as a kid, I didn't understand what it looked like until I experienced it enough. Like if you're a kid or a teen, your experience is very limited. You're still learning and seeing what it may look like in your life and being able to recognize those patterns in your own experience. Some things are easy to spot while other shit be subtle. And it's so much shit that black people get put on the receiving end of as a whole. And it never gets talked about because people want to act like it doesn't exist or that it's not happening. And they just sweep it under the rug. They don't bring up race unless they can be the heroes of the story they about to tell or the victims. And if you call them out on it, they'll deflect hard and they'll blame that shit on everything else. It's how you said what you said. It's how you came off. It's how you reacted to the situation that they caused. Not the fact that they started it, but the fact that you said or did something about it is what people mad at. And they'll often put themselves in this position where they want to be the somebody that people care about at the expense of you. And that's the experience for a lot of black people. And I see myself as very non-judgmental. I love people. I can see what's to love about everything and everyone. So it was really hard for me to open my eyes up to all of this. I kept making excuses for it. I blamed it on myself. I was a denier. I didn't want to believe it was about my race. And it's really hard to not feel bitter about it. It's hard to not feel angry about the shit because it happens so often. And for white folks, of course y'all not gonna see it. You're white. It doesn't really happen to you too often. But when you grow up black, you experience that shit almost immediately. Like I was called before I could talk. Grown white men was calling us nigglets at the KFC, being tackled by white police officers multiple times as a kid, being singled out in a group of white teens, and I'm the only black one being threatened to get arrested, getting chained, thrown at me by an old white lady, and then when I told her not to throw it at me like a dog, she starts screaming and crying and acting like I was hurting her. Little white girls pulling my hair, and when I punch them in the mouth, they got to watch me get paddled by this grown white man who hit me as hard as possible with one of those college plaque paddleboard things. Applications getting rejected when I use my first name, but accepted when I use another. I used to work as a makeup artist for weddings, and I was getting complaints constantly because they ain't want a black woman doing their makeup. She don't know what she doing, bitch. Oh, you look like a dog. You was fucked up, and I saved you. I saved you. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I have to show y'all a picture real quick. This is me. This is the kind of makeup I do. And I got a complaint and I had to go to the office. And my boss did my makeup to show me the right way to do it. This is what they did to me. And people will ask to borrow my brand new makeup palettes and they would hand them back to me. Them bitches were destroyed. The sabotage. You know, and it's more shit. Getting fired from jobs over lies, workplace drama, from white coworkers who shed a single teardrop and I would be the monster who did it. Getting manhandled by grown, like, you know, and a lot of the time I be thinking, if I were your daughter, you would never have put your hands on me like that. There's so many cop stories, but like it's so much shit. And it can range from little shit to big shit. But once you live in it for so long, you can eventually start seeing those patterns in people. So for me now, I can usually pick a racist person out. They can't hide it anymore. It seeps out of them like a gas. It's all in their actions and in their energy. And even if they don't say it out loud, I've seen this plenty of times before to be able to recognize it. Some people can't even recognize it in themselves before I see it. And why they do it. It could be a learned behavior from their parents and grandparents. Could be from some leftover spite. These black kids bullied me when I was a kid, so now I gotta take it out on this black teenager working at McDonald's for getting my coffee wrong. Jealousy? Jealousy is a big one. If they think you got something that they don't and you're black, They're pissed. And they coming for everything you got. They needed a valid excuse to treat people the way they do. Oh, they couldn't just cancel me over to AI because people wouldn't take it seriously enough. It'd look too much like what they were actually doing, which is bullying, racism, and unleashing all of their hate onto this person who they think shouldn't be worthy of what they have because they don't feel worthy within themselves. So why should you? And they try to get this power and control over you to drag you down so they can feel superior. And I truly believe that most people don't realize that they're doing this. But I also believe that there are people who are perfectly aware and do it to feed their own ego about who they feel that they are. But them people haven't done the work to actually know themselves. So they think they hate themselves and they take it out on other people. And people love to target people who are already different. Y'all see where I'm going? And if you're a Black American, I see you. I'm right here with you. And I know how hard it is to not feel bitter, to not let that anger consume you, to not feel crazy. But I want you to take that energy and turn it into something meaningful, something that can empower us. I'm an artist, so I turn my pain into art. If you go through my art channel and look through my work, every single piece has an emotion behind it. I might be one of the only Black American voices in the art space openly talking about this shit, but I also encourage y'all, if y'all are also Black artists or musicians or any kind of creative, to talk about it. We need to share our stories and our perspectives. I know I want to hear them. And for me, this is just another way to express my truth. And if it resonates, then it was worth saying. All I'm doing is standing in my truth and taking care of me first. And I encourage every single one of y'all to do the same. See yourself, protect yourself, love yourself, and don't let nobody tell you that your experience isn't real. I see you. I actually see you. And if that makes some people uncomfortable, good. Let them bitches sit in it. Okay, that's it for this video. I've been rambling on enough. My voice going out now. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.